mainly my grandmother, and I'm not mentioning my grandfather, but I think in a different video I'm going to talk about it. The farm is about 3-4 kilometers away from home. At first it doesn't really sound far until you actually walk under the heat of the Cameroonian sun. My feet were already hurting halfway through, and imagine that you have to do a 3-4 kilometer walk only for you to reach, and then you have to start farming. So this is called Moyoka, and it is in the southwest region of Cameroon, and it sits near Mount Cameroon, which is one of Africa's largest active volcanoes. So for this walk I dressed like a real village farmer. The boots, it's to help me when I get to the farm from the mud, and I wore some long sleeves and trousers to protect against the mosquitoes and tall grass, and I wore a cap for the intense tropical heat. Moyoka is known for being very hot and humid and very green compared to the other parts of the country. And also, here in Cameroon we have just 2 seasons. We don't have like spring, summer, winter, and autumn. We have just a rainy and a dry season, and our temperatures are not too hot, too cold. Our temperatures most of the time normally will range from like 20 degrees to like the 30 degrees. It's difficult for it to like go below 20 degrees and above 30 degrees. So even when you have like rain, when the weather is cold, the temperatures can drop to like 20 or like 19. But I don't think I've ever experienced like 19 degrees. I don't know, maybe I've never really checked. Anyways, going back, as we walked deeper into the village paths, the scenery is so beautiful. We have like tall palm trees which are stretched to the sky. We have like fresh air. The air is very fresh, and I decided to film from where you have like farms. I didn't really film from where you have like houses and stuff like that, because I wanted you people to enjoy the scenery. You can hear like the birds chirping, where you can just hear birds only and footsteps like that. So you have like tall palm trees, and palm trees are very, very important. The palm trees, they provide palm nuts which can be eaten after cracking the hard shell, and they taste like coconut. The palm trees are very, very important. Here the palm nuts, which can be eaten after cracking the hard shell, and when you crack the hard shell you remove some little fruit inside, which is very hard. It's like coconut. I think I'm going to like crack it in another video for you guys to be able to appreciate the fruit. So they are also used to make palm oil, and which is one of the most important ingredients in many Central and West African dishes. We use it to cook meals like arrow, conchav, guacoko, beans, and koki, amongst other dishes, but these are the most common dishes. I'm sure I've forgotten other dishes which I remember. Okay, achu, yeah. So even the dry palm trees, the dry palm branches can be used to make traditional brooms. I'm going to insert a picture. So the palm fruits are bright red on the outside and with a hard shell inside, like I mentioned, and at the center is a sweet nut that tastes like coconut. start. Then this. After a long walk, we finally arrived on the farm. The land was bushy and needed clearing, but you could already see crops growing, like corn, cassava, and granules. And my grandmother had a couple of other farmlands. This is just one of our farmlands, and the farm at this moment mainly has corn. It also has plantains. It has coconut trees, and there were some huge trees here which have been cut off. I don't know why. Yeah. This is an example of dried palm branches that they can use to make African perms. So I went into the farm. You can see me crossing through the corn plants, and down here we have this watermelon looking crop, which is called egusi. I don't know how it is called in the normal way, if that makes any sense, but we call it egusi and we use it to cook our traditional meals. So I was just trying to hold it to show you guys. And also you can see that there's a small stream. There's a small stream running beside the farm, and it acts like a natural boundary between our farm and the other people. So if it is cleaned properly, it's honestly going to look so magical. This place is rarely visited. That is why you can see that a lot of grass has grown like this. You can never know how deep a stream is until you get inside. This stream looks shallow, but it is deep. Honestly, it looks really beautiful. If it was taken care of, it is going to be so magical, like I mentioned. I can see the green crops just surrounding, and the ones that are in the water. One of the best moments was harvesting the fresh corn directly from the farm. And when we harvest the fresh corn, we make sure to remove the back. I don't know why we do that. I need to actually verify. I don't know why. But when we do that, we use the corn to prepare a lot of meals. I don't even want to start naming the meals in different forms. We can grind the corn to prepare something called corn fufu. We can roast the corn. We can boil the corn. We can use it to also prepare corn chaffs when we mix it with beans. We can also use it to prepare something that we eat for breakfast, which is called pap. We drink it it can be eaten with bread. It can be eaten with something that we call puff. Yeah, that is what we can do with the corn. And at this point, we do not harvest every corn we simply take the one that is fully mature, because you can see that you also have some small bits here, small bits there, so we do not harvest everything. I started to weed. I just want to demonstrate how weeding takes place. I think I might do a proper weeding video, but the thing now is that I cannot weed to save my life. I am not really built for weeding because like my blood levels are usually like on the lower side, so my energy levels are not like so high. So when I do a lot of hard work, I get tired very quickly. But this video, I just demonstrated like how weeding takes place to remove grass. And imagine when I was weeding, like a disaster stroke, a wasp stung me directly on my scalp. The pain was really intense, and I for a moment regretted coming. Then you had the heat. There was a lot of sun, and the heat was on another level. So then imagine the heat, the long walk, and the stress. I was so exhausted, and at one point I almost fainted because my body simply wasn't used to this kind of labor. But anyways, luckily I'm not allergic to like wasp stings, so I recovered pretty quickly from that, which is very great. And for a moment I'm like imagining that I didn't even do much, but this is so sad. Imagine like how my grandmother, like for my grandma, this was a normal life and she was like used to this type of things. Like I give her flowers. That lady was really hardworking. So I just kept going about with my day. I didn't let that stop me. I was like, a wasp sting will not ruin my experience. It was around this point where I got stung by a bee. I was walking under that plantain tree. You can see the leaves, and yeah, I got stung. The pain was excruciating at this point, and the person filming had to like come and check up on me. So yeah, I was in pains, but I kept moving. I even like used the spraying, I don't know if I should say spraying can to like spray the grass to also kill it, because it's now a common way. It wasn't like that in the 50s, in the 1950s, the 1960s. This can I don't know when it started, but during those days they were not using this. They usually weed grass with their hands and with cutlasses and with hose and all of that. And then we just kept going on about the day. You can just enjoy the scenery. And when we were done from the farm, we harvested some fresh bananas, and after washing them, we immediately ate them. They were so sweet. Like these are things that just grow without chemicals. These are just fresh directly from the farm, so you can imagine how tasty they are. So now it was time to walk back home. At this point, my legs were completely finished. I was tired, I was limping, I was sweating, but I was still trying to enjoy the view. You can see from my mannerisms that I was really trying not to let my body dictate how I experienced the moment. I just was enjoying the scenery and trying to like absorb every moment. The palm trees, the green landscape, the village parts. It felt really peaceful in a way that was especially in rural communities, farming is like, in those days, was more like a survival. It's a history, it's a sacrifice, it's a family, because most families enter the farm to be able to sustain themselves, to be able to sponsor their kids, to be able to have something to eat. So I'm really happy I was able to like show you guys a glimpse, and I think in subsequent videos I can show you guys the middle part. Okay, I think I didn't give a backstory. I'm a Cameroonian, so, and Cameroon is in Central Africa politically, but it is in West Africa geographically, and we speak both French and English. About 80% of Cameroon speaks French, and about 20% speaks English. So I'm among the 20% which speaks English, and I also speak and understand French, but not as much. There was a time that I had stayed in the French speaking region and I was able to speak French, but as I came to the English region, my ability to speak French greatly diminished. There are a lot of other videos that I can do to be able to give you guys an understanding of how Cameroon is, and yeah, just like how people here live, because there are a lot of myths concerning people who stay in Africa. But Cameroon is in Africa. So if you have any questions with respect to how like we live, with respect to like your doubts, or like if you're just curious, you can drop it down in the comment section, and I'll be very happy to do a video on that. So I can do a video of how the middle class Cameroonians live their life, of how the upper class live their lives. That is, if I have like enough finances. Yeah, I can also do like, you guys should just like put in the comment section anything you want to know, and I'm going to do a video on that. I also want to use this channel as a channel where people can learn more about Africa, about Cameroon specifically. Okay, we share a border, like we are neighboring countries with Nigeria. I'm sure everyone knows Nigeria, so we are to the east side of Nigeria, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I'm going to put the map, an African map, in like a dot of where Cameroon is. So thank you so much for walking this journey with me. If you enjoyed experiencing